All right. Tonight, not sure which microphone is picking me up here. Hopefully that's the one. Um, hmm. Anyways, tonight I'm reviewing Chambers Bay bourbon. Still haven't figured out how to. That's the reason I'm late with my live stream. I always try and go. I've been trying to go for 8 p.m. Pacific time, and I got caught up trying to figure out how I can change the settings on this webcam so it doesn't keep trying to refocus. It needs to pick a lane and stay there. So it's a little annoying. That setting is buried, it seems. So hopefully by next week, hopefully I'll be able to figure that out. But so anyways, this is a little smaller bottle, but still was not cheap because this is a very small distillery out of Washington State. But it's still just under $40. So that's for that's pretty small amount of beverage for $40, but $37.99, something like that. Yeah, but. And I will say I've cheated a little because I actually have had a little bit from this. So I kind of know a little about what to expect. And there's one thing, and this is kind of one of the many things that I use to tell whether or not it's a quality whiskey or if it's a cheap whiskey. And last week, in the past couple weeks, I've had whiskey that kind of smelled like pancakes. And that means that one of the things that distillers do to kind of cover up maybe a cheap cut or maybe a lack of aging, when you get that turpentine taste in your whiskey, it's probably because they had a less aggressive cut. And then they cover that up with basically things that cause it to smell like pancakes. So it can make a whiskey go from not that great to decent. But the one thing I can say about Chambers Bay is their straight bourbon whiskey does not smell like pancakes. It has and I know a lot of Scotch drinkers love to use this term. They say, oh, people either smell campfire or they smell medicinal. And I've never smelled medicinal with Scotch. Never. What it smells like is Band-Aids. This actually has a slight medicinal smell to it. But it's not to the point where it's unpleasant. What else am I smelling there? Kind of a okay, this is going to sound funny, and I don't mean this in an insulting way at all, but anybody from my era, remember when those candies that your grandma used to have, those the ribbon candy? And we were kids, so we'd still drink it. I mean, still eat it. But it always had kind of that kind of a sweet, pleasant smell to it. And this also just a very slight ribbon candy smell to it, very slight. So it's refreshing that this distillery has found something a little make them a little more unique. And to me, it says that they put a little bit more passion into their whiskey. And I can tell you that I've met the guys back when we used to have this convention called Proof in Seattle. I've met the guys from Chambers Bay Distillery, and them, along with one other, they seemed to, it wasn't a business to them. It was a passion. They really, to them, it was a passion. It was an art. And they were extremely prideful about their whiskey, why their whiskey was the best, almost to the point of arrogance. And you can only get away with that if what you put out is good. Because if you're almost a little arrogant and your product sucks, you are going to be mocked thoroughly. So cheers to you, Chambers Bay, for standing up and standing tall and putting out a product that you are very proud of. So, yeah, but now, uh, the initial taste comes off as just a little sweet, but it's not that sicky sweet that a lot of cheaper whiskeys have. It's a very subtle sweetness with 95 proof. Is it 95? I think. Yeah, 95 proof. The If I didn't know the proof, if I didn't have the bottle right in front of me, I would not guess it as 90 proof. I would guess it as 80 proof. The reality is, as somebody who has tasted a lot of different types of whiskey, I can say that as you get higher proof, it's a little more the tsunami you're surfing gets a little bit more chaotic, and you're either going to really mess it up and fall off, break your neck, or you're going to be able to surf that tsunami, and people are going to go, "Wow, you're not stupid. You're brave." Because if you survive something, you're brave. If you die, that means you're stupid. And that's kind of how I describe this whiskey. This is somebody who has surfed the tsunami of your higher proofs and not fallen off the board. This is a very subtle sweetness on the initial taste. The mouthfeel is very mild. It's very comforting. And the finish has just enough bite to be very pleasant. It's any less of a bite, and I don't think I'd enjoy it. If you're a whiskey fan, you want a little bit of a bite. If you're, but you also don't want it to be too overpowering. And the Chambers Bay straight bourbon whiskey, 95 proof, I got to say, rides that fine line to where it's just perfect. It's just the perfect amount of bite to be pleasant and not ruin that mouthfeel. The bite doesn't linger as much as some other whiskeys that I really like, but it's good. This is a very, very quality whiskey. And you do pay a little bit more for that. But the one thing I hate is when you pay a little bit more and you don't get any quality for that. So I'm okay with paying a little more if I get something for that. I got to say, it's a higher price, but I recommend Chambers Bay straight bourbon whiskey, 95 proof. I like it. I'm impressed. I would buy it again. Go out, check it out. Go out and get yourself a bottle and let us know in the comments what you think. And until next week, hopefully at 8 p.m. Pacific. Hopefully I'll be on time. My apologies for my lateness, but I don't see anybody in the chat room, so I don't think too many are offended. Most people are watching this in post, but anyways, see you next week for another episode of Nerds Drink Whiskey.